everybody. It is definitely the wet season, but today is sunny, so I thought I'd give you a quick garden update with what we've got going on here. So first up is my strawberry experiment. I was thinking that it was the little lizards that were eating the centre of the flower before it became a strawberry. It seems I might be right, because if it was the birds, we wouldn't be getting beautiful little strawberries like this. So I've got them off the ground, and yeah, voila. So thank you, Judy, for giving me the plant stand. That's been fantastic. So maybe I'll get some more. We can't get green stalk planters here that people can get in America. There's a similar thing, but it's not quite the same. But yeah, this works for us. There's plenty of airflow there, and it's not too complicated. These are actually self-watering pots. So there's a reservoir of water in the bottom, so if there's extra, I've got them set up so that the water will actually go onto the plants below. So yeah, that works for us. So I've got our spring onions doing well. There's a little mung bean from the chicken feed next door to that. There's a chicken feed video if you want to see what I'm doing with that. We'll have some beautiful sunflowers coming up again from that too soon, so that'll be great. Had to take out the previous sunflowers because there was a tropical storm coming our way, which could have been a cyclone, so I didn't want them to be broken off. Alrighty, we've got spring onion there, which I think I've said before, it's like corn and it's like chives. You need to have fresh seeds, so not more than a year or two old for that seed. We'll go down this way. As I said in a previous video, this is white sorghum. The chickens seem to have decided they like white sorghum better than red, but they are eating red again now that I'm growing white. But yes, so as I said in that other video about chicken feed, to get zero waste on your chicken feed, if it gets wet or if they won't eat it or whatever happens, put it in a garden bed that you're not using very much, or even a spare area of ground that you've cultivated a little bit and you can water easily, and yeah, you can grow some chicken feed, and I give it to them with the greens and everything, so they will hopefully eat everything, and if they don't, it goes in the compost, so zero waste. And any of the layer pellets, if that's the sort of thing that you do, I try to steer away from those, but it'll also it won't grow because it's not a whole seed, but it will just go into the soil and feed the soil. You can get rodents from doing this because you've got greens there, so it's good to cover them up with some potting mix or some soil. Try to prevent that from happening. So I've got huge Cape gooseberries now. So it's these ones, and the ones over there are Cape gooseberries, and they're doing really well. Underneath we have the usual tender green. They're a little bit big, but they'll still be good for dinner tonight. So we've got about 4 plants of those. There are only 2 of us at home now, so that should be fine. These are golden crookneck zucchinis, squash gourds people call them, and here are another 2. I'm not quite sure why they're planted so close. And haven't moved the coconuts. They're looking a bit sad, but they're looking quite happy now, so they'll be good to transplant soon. This over here is an asparagus pea, which apparently you have to harvest when they're about that big, because I've got a friend who said, oh, they're woody and terrible and they don't taste like asparagus at all. But when I read the packet, yeah, you're supposed to use them really small, really young. So there's a tip. We haven't had them before because I thought I'd killed the plant. In fact, I probably did, and it may have actually had pods that fell down, and these are the next generation of plants. So I've been given another second chance on those, so I'm pretty happy about that, because it's in amongst kale and some other things that I've just let grow there. And that's a cocoa yam, and I'll show you a much bigger one on the other side in just a moment. This is my frangipani doing really well. It didn't have leaves out in the last video. The stick, I think in my first video tour, end of August, I explained that this stick from here down was how I started this plant, and it's in its second year now. It hasn't given us any flowers yet, but hopefully it will. The parent plant is flowering at the moment, and they usually flower at the same time as the parent plant, so maybe not. Not really sure. This is a native frangipani, which came from a plant that I purchased when I lived down in Melbourne, and my daughter and son-in-law are looking after the plant now, and my son-in-law was really lovely and sent me some seeds. So now I have some seeds of the parent plant that I left with them to look after. These are 3 pomegranates that I grew from seed. They took quite some time to take off and quite some time to germinate, so yeah, I have one in the field which is about that big. It's probably, I don't know, nearly a metre tall, about 2 or 3 foot tall now, so hoping to get pomegranates one day. These are, they could actually be a rotundifolia form. They're grape. They're purple grapes that I got from a local shop to eat, and I grew them from seed, which I believe this variety that I think it is grows well from seed and produces good fruit. It could also be a muscadine, although they're called something different in the south of America, like the south of North America, I mean. My goodness, that needs a water. What is that? That's a miracle fruit. Ooh, no, it's a wampum that needs a lot of water. Okay, I'll have to water that later on. This Rose of Sharon hibiscus has really taken off. That's pretty happy. That's probably 3 times the leaves it had on the last garden tour. The Arabica coffee plant is doing so much better, which is great. I've got some sphagnum moss on top of it, and it was in a dish of water, but it got really wet feet, so I took it out for a little bit. And these are its babies. We've got 3, and there's one more I think on the back porch. So these are little Arabica coffee trees coming up, and I grew them from the coffee cherries from this tree. So it doesn't take long to get another generation. This is a red papaya. I've probably shown you all of these before, but this is very exciting. This is an Illawarra flame tree, and I got this at a garage sale, and they told me it was a fig, and I've been looking at the leaves thinking, I don't think that's a fig, especially the way that the leaves are growing off the stem like that. So I did the Google Lens thing, so you take a photo and you put it into Google and it tells you what something is. And it's an Illawarra flame tree, also known as a currajong tree, and some other things as well. And it's a bush tucker plant, so you can eat its seeds. They taste like peanuts, apparently. You can roast the seeds, and you can roast the seeds for a coffee substitute, which I have no idea what that tastes like. But maybe it's worth it. I don't know. But it's really cool because it's a beautiful tree, so it has a beautiful, long, sort of wiggly, tall trunk with beautiful little, tiny little red bell flowers with a little frill around the bottom. It's so cute. And my husband and I actually both were saying in this area, there are a lot of them, were saying, what is that tree? It's so beautiful. We really like one. And I thought this was a fig, and it's not. It's the one that we wanted. So that was a little plant blessing there. So this is my Megdal date. It's going quite well. I grew that from a date seed from the supermarket. Have about, I don't know, about 8 more coming along. I planted a lot because I didn't know how they would go, how tough they would be. And it was taking forever to get them to grow from seed, because the seed often goes mouldy and all that sort of stuff. It just, yeah, was difficult to get started, so I started a lot of them. So now I'm going to have to find out where to put about 10 Megdal date trees, which is a very good problem to have. This is a tree fern, different varieties all around Australia. But basically it's a very long cylindrical trunk. The kind around here are not furry like the ones in Victoria, near Melbourne. These ones are sort of hard and greyish usually. And yeah, so one long stump and then just, yeah, one long trunk, not stump. stump is what you don't want. And then you get an umbrella of leaves on the top, and they're quite beautiful when they wave in the breeze. These are coleus, which I've introduced to you before if you've seen one of my videos before. And this is almost ready to plant. Oh, hello. This is, I believe, an assassin bug. They don't hurt humans, they just look really scary. They kill bad bugs, so I don't mind having that little guy on my mango. He won't hurt the plant, he'll just be after the bugs that are hurting the plant, so that's great. Bowen mangoes are the same as Kensington Pride. They will grow true to type from seed, so that's from my mangoes from my neighbours, and I grew them from seed, and they should produce the same fruit as the parent plant. And a lot of mangoes, because they're hybrids, they won't do that. So Kensington Pride or Bowen are the good ones. I'm not sure about R2E2. I've heard that's true, but I'm not sure about those particularly. These little plants are waiting to go out. They're just getting used to the sun. This I'm really excited about. I have about 4 or 5 of these. It's a Rosa Bianca eggplant. It's an Italian heirloom. It's about that big, sort of egg-shaped, white with purple stripes on it, so streaky stripes. So apparently they do okay in this area. I've got a friend who grows them quite easily, so that's good. And this is the empty teepee still. I've left the Christmas lights on it just for fun. They might be on there all year. And I have replanted Blue Lake climbing beans, or pole beans as some people call them, on each of the 4 sides, so they'll be up out of the ground soon, so I'll have to be on the lookout for snails, which we don't have a whole lot of trouble with except for the wet season, which is now, so I'm going to have to be a bit vigilant on that. So yes, still got the other coconut palm which still needs planting out. Kangkung has gone mad in the humidity and the extra rain, which is fantastic. That will actually grow in water. They're really popular in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. They're a mild flavour. I grew that from just a bunch that we got from the market that was sold to eat. It had no roots or anything, but it roots in water in, I don't know, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they're ready to plant in water or in soil. Yeah, we've got to keep up with this because it just keeps growing. Here's my little herby patch and my sad little blueberry that I still haven't moved because it was getting more blueberries. But I noticed yesterday it's been absolutely decimated by something. I'm going to blame the grasshoppers, so I'm going to have to get it out of there before it dies completely. The chili plants that I planted, I've seen our orange chili, Hawaiian chili before. Our other chilies are doing quite well. This one's doing really well. That's a cayenne, I believe. I can't see a tag, but I'm pretty sure it's a cayenne. All the rest are banana chilies, we call them. They're a sweet chili, sort of about that long or a bit longer. I've shown you those before. We've got our choco or chayote. No, chayote. Another passion fruit that I grew from seed. That was about half its height about a month ago because I chopped it back to a few stems. Yeah, the red dragon fruit's doing quite well, so that's pretty cool. Some more of those sweet chilies. These are jalapenos. They're starting to get bigger. I think the wet season helps everything. The Sugar Rush peach have been eclipsed by strawberries, but we have had a couple of fruit off them already, so there's some more little fruit coming along, so that's cool. Here's another Cape gooseberry. So I seem to have planted a few for plants we don't really like. There's another passion fruit and another passion fruit, so I've got 3. I actually gave one away to a lady who was leaving town, so she'd have something from this area to remind her of everybody. Yeah, so the Atherton raspberry is doing quite well now, so that's great. I had to shade it for a while because it was being a bit of a wuss. It was, every time the sun would come out it would dry up and pretend to die. So yeah, a little bit of shade helped that kick on. So now there's not so much sun because it's a wet season. It's going really well. The rosemary has been enjoying the extra wet, and so has my my poor little lavender that I grew from seed. Yeah, it's doing well as well. Not much else to report really. These are going well. I've decided to grow more things like this because they still attract all of the pollinators. How cool is that, with the little flowers within the flower? So pretty. They're zinnias from a zinnia dahlia mix. So these zinnias are great, much better than marigolds, which also self-seed like crazy, and that's what I like about these as well, for attracting pollinators, because I've realised that the marigolds grow quite bushy and round and low on the ground, but these grow quite tall, so they don't provide a place for the grasshoppers to live and breed, and there were all these baby grasshoppers coming out of the marigolds. So I've given up on marigolds for pollinating attractant plants for now, and I'm going to stick with the zinnias because they're pretty and they're off the ground and they don't harbour all of the nasties, including the grasshoppers. And as you can see, these were not planted by me. These are zinnias also, and they've decided to live there, so I'm quite happy about that. I didn't plant these either. These are chia, so all of those are self-sown chia. Hopefully, as this is the wet season, we won't keep getting chia. Hopefully what's in the soil now would have germinated by now and I can have this space back. But seeing as these are coming to give us some seeds, coming up to giving us some seeds soon, we might have more seeds falling to the ground for chia. So that might be our permanent chia spot, which would not be such a bad thing. Okra's starting to kick on, so that's good. I've transplanted these chilies from an area that you haven't seen yet, because I've realised they do so much better in the garden beds. This one may not be long for the world, but I might cut it back even more and give it a bit of TLC and see if it comes back. But these are Carolina Reapers, which hubby has decided he likes the best for making chili sauce because they're really fruity, and he doesn't need all that many to go with other chilies. But yeah, these ones are about 2 years old. Could be, yeah, about 2 years old from seed. So I'd like to keep them going if I can. These strawberries have gone nuts. It's actually quite hard to find the strawberries in there now. Hopefully no creatures in there either. Kale, which I'm mostly using for chickens at the moment. I'm hoping this is licorice basil, which I grew from seed. Some of the seeds got a little bit mixed up. There's some more pigeon peas over there. They're the ones with the long pod that you use like dal when they're dried. The little basil patch is doing well. A little blue-banded bee there. Hopefully you can see it. See the blue bands? He's very cute. I always call him my little buddy because he does such a good job of pollinating things. And I can hear if he's here because he has a certain note to his buzzing. Alrighty, so still got our lemon balm. Oh, whoops, no, lemon verbena. Very good for tea. Pretty much the same in here. Seaside daisies, garlic chives. It's taken a while, and I think I mentioned in the last video, and these are planted a bit too close, but that's normal chives. I used to have a lot of them, but haven't had much success growing them from seed, but I have now, so very happy about that. Apparently they're like a lot of other things in the allium or the onion family. They need fresh seeds, so spring onions, shallots, chives, just like corn, they like fresh seeds to grow really well. So this is the middle bed. Sweet potatoes, nothing new there. I'll have to chop them back again. Not that long ago that I did that. The capsicums are doing well, or people call them bell peppers. Tomatillos are doing alright, although there's a bit of a pest over there. Not sure if you can see it. Little orange fiend. I'll have to deal with those later. That is not a ladybug. A couple of little turtle beans. I've got to plant a bit more of this out. And oh, for the big finale, our scarlet runner beans, or 7-year beans, have seeds, have pods. I've only got it to this stage, I think twice before. It looks like something's trying to eat that. So that's not good news. So I'm hoping I'll get some dried beans out of those and be able to plant some potentially somewhere else because I have a new garden bed. So thank you to my kids for buying me a new garden bed for Christmas. But probably the only place I can put it is here, measurement wise. So I might have to dig up my 7-year beans, which I didn't want to do, but it really matters to be able to get your wheelbarrow around all of your garden beds easily, because wheelbarrows are very important, very handy things. Alrighty, well that's my garden update for now. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.